The Drevo Calibur 71 has been my daily driver for several months now. Its compact design, wireless interface, and mechanical switches were the non-negotiable characteristics I was looking for. However, after reading some of your recommendations, I decided to reach out to a company called Velocifire and test out their TKL01 wireless mechanical keyboard. Well, they got back to me, and they said, the keyboard you're asking for is kind of old. We've got something new for you to try. This is the Velocifire TKL02, a follow-up to the popular TKL01. It's a wireless, mechanical, 10-keyless keyboard that retails for roughly $40. They do offer a wired version for $30, and both versions have been out for a week or two now. Velocifire was nice enough to send me my example a couple weeks early so I can get some time with it, and the reviews thus far have been largely favorable. It does not have a dedicated number pad. It's also sometimes referred to as an 80% keyboard. This one does have a full row of function keys, which also double as media and operating system controls. Now, on my Drevo Calibur, I don't have media controls or function controls on there, but I don't really miss them. As a matter of fact, the only thing I miss from that entire row of keys is the screen print button, which made it really easy to capture screenshots of my videos that I can make into thumbnails, but apart from that, I really don't miss that entire row of keys. And as always, if by the end of this review you decide that this device is for you, then please consider using my affiliate link in the video description to purchase it. It's an all-black design with no alternative colors offered. It does have a large Velocifire logo just over the arrow keys, which I can definitely do without. I understand they want to brand their product, but I think a more stealthy look would have been more appreciated. The build quality is impressive. You can tell just by lifting it up, it is built like a tank. I made a comment in that Calibur video about how much that device weighed, and that came in at 600 grams, which is heavy for a device that size. This thing tips the scales at almost 1,000 grams. That's 2.2 pounds. That's heavier than a lot of laptops these days. The thing is heavy. And surprisingly, it gets to that weight even without a metal backplate. It's all plastic. It's extremely sturdy and exhibits no flex whatsoever. It's a compact design, but despite being 10 keyless, it's still a pretty decent size. It comes in at 365 by 130 millimeters, which in contrast to the Drevo Calibur, which is also 10 keyless, that comes in at just 348 by 101 millimeters. It also has a recessed key design, which looks nice, but makes key removal much more difficult. Thankfully, it does come with a keycap puller, but if you ever want to try to remove these things, you're not going to be able to do it by hand. You're going to have a specialized tool to do it. It is a mechanical keyboard. It features Outemu brown switches. They're a switch type that I personally really like. They're tactile, but relatively quiet. Much quieter than blue switches. I do wish they offered it in more switch types, but despite that, it's a good switch. It's rated at 50 million keystrokes, and it should be sufficient for most people's needs. The keycaps are double shot ABS material, which is good. It's a good quality, but it's not the same as the coveted PBT material that many enthusiasts look for. It is wireless, but only via the included USB dongle. It does not feature Bluetooth, which is a big strike against it. That's one thing I really like about the Calibur, is being able to connect it to up to 3 devices at once and easily just bounce between them. That's really nice, and also means I can connect it to other things that may not have a USB port. It's kind of limited in that regard. It features a 1,850 milliamp hour rechargeable battery, which is pretty impressive going into a keyboard. This thing will last a pretty long time. It recharges via a USB-C charging cable, which is the first time I've seen this on a keyboard. Honestly, it's about time. I mean, we're moving in that direction. I think we all need to start moving on to USB-C. It's nice to see it featured here. However, the cable they use is less than 5 feet long. It's not that big of a deal. If it were a wired keyboard, I would have some more negative comments to say about the length of that cable. The Calibur that I keep talking about, I can only usually get 3 to 4 days of continuous use out of it, where this thing will last me a full week. It does have backlighting, but it is not RGB. So for some people, this is going to be a deal breaker. For some people, it's not going to be an issue whatsoever. For me, I do like having the RGB lighting, not to make it just a a full spectrum of colors, but just because I like changing it to one dedicated color to match the rest of my setup, that's pretty nice. This just has a white backlight, and the spacebar changes to red when it's running low on battery, but other than that, every key is illuminated with a white backlight. The typing experience was fluid and responsive, but I definitely wish they offered this in more switch types, because I'd be much more likely to switch this to my daily driver if I got to use it with blue switches. The wireless reliability of the keyboard is about on par with other wireless keyboards I've tested recently, in that there's intermittent connection losses and definitely some noticeable input lag. It's not a deal breaker for me, but it is noticeable, and I think for people in an upper echelon of gaming are not going to appreciate that. But to be fair to the device, it's not actually marketed as a gaming keyboard. It's more of a productivity device. Believe it or not, there are people other than gamers that also like mechanical switches, and that's more what this device is aimed at. And as I mentioned, it is very bulky, especially for a 10 keyless design. In my opinion, if you're willing to sacrifice a number pad, I think that's a strong indication that you're really prioritizing a compact design, and that's kind of lost on this. There's a bunch of extra fat around the edges, it weighs a lot, it's not really portable. This is not really a device you're just going to throw in your backpack and go. You're definitely going to have to make room for it, and also brace yourself because it weighs a ton. So I did really enjoy it though, and if you think you'll enjoy it and you're going to buy it on Amazon, then check my affiliate links in the video description, and also check our other videos. We did other keyboard reviews. If this one did not tickle your fancy, then maybe one of these others will. And also subscribe so you'll be notified when our future content is ready to watch. We also run giveaways every month. This month we're doing a Tautronics gaming headset, so check out that link in the video description, and we will catch you guys in the next one.